Hello everyone, my name is Victor Edison. I've decided to try to read a couple chapters of a comic book that I wrote in 2013 called Life in Japan. It deals with my first year in Japan in 2004. So let's get started. Chapter 1, Self-Introduction, 自己紹介. Hello everyone, my name is Victor Edison. I've been living in Japan for over 7 years now. One question I'm often asked is, why did you come to Japan? To be honest, I never know how to answer this question. Perhaps it was because I had fond memories of Japanese cartoons. Or maybe it was because I grew up reading Japanese comic books. Perhaps it was the video games. In fact, I probably spent most of my childhood immersed in a fantasy world created by the Japanese. Or could it be that the reason I decided to come to Japan was simply because one day an ex-roommate emailed me out of the blue, telling me about his job, teaching English there. The fact was, after I dropped out of art school, my future prospects were dim. I mean, if I were to say that I came to Japan because I had dreams of becoming a successful comic artist in a country that took the medium seriously, despite the fact that I couldn't even speak a word of Japanese, it would sound ridiculous. So even now, I'm still not exactly sure how to best answer that question. Another question I get asked a lot is, so, what do you think of Japan? Okay, so this is another one of those questions where, to be honest, the answer is complicated. I mean, I'd have to write an entire book to explain my feelings properly. What? Okay, so that's obviously part of what's going on here. This comic will cover my first year and hopefully answer that question. But before I get into it, let me give you a little background so you know where I'm coming from. I was born in America. To be more specific, California. I grew up in a small town north of San Francisco called Petaluma. My father was a computer programmer and my mother was a seamstress. And there's also my younger brother. I would say I had a pretty typical childhood. Most days were spent running around the neighborhood playing cops and robbers. It's funny, but one of my first memories is of my father being upset at California's public education system. Aren't they teaching you phonics? How can you say you're educating kids if you don't teach them how to read? This isn't to say my father didn't have his own strange ideas. And why are you wasting your time memorizing how to spell those words, son? We live in the age of computers now. Computers have spell checkers. When you grow up, they'll be everywhere. I certainly had better things to do than to argue with this logic. When I was 16, my father got a new job and moved the family to Idaho. This was quite a culture shock. After I graduated from the University of Idaho, I moved to New Jersey to pursue art school and my dream of drawing comics for a living. Needless to say, this was another culture shock. It was while living in New Jersey that I had gotten an email that changed my life. It was from my ex-roommate. Hey Vic, I'm teaching English in Japan. It's awesome, you should come out here. I'd never dreamed that something like this was possible. This guy wasn't just visiting, he was actually living and working in another country. And I knew he didn't speak Japanese. I mean, if he could do it, I could do it too, right? I checked the internet and soon stumbled across a few websites that were advertising teaching positions for native English speakers in Japan. All that seemed to be necessary was that you were born in an English-speaking country, and that you had a college degree. Apparently, teaching experience and or training was not required. I immediately sent my resume to what looked like the biggest, most professional company. A few weeks later, I had a job interview in New York City. I was nervous at first, but the interview turned out to be more like a recruitment seminar. My favorite part was when they had the one-on-one interview. So, where in Japan do you want to live and work? Tokyo. I was thinking to myself, is this a joke? But apparently it wasn't a joke, because a few months later I found myself on a plane headed for Japan. However, I wasn't going to be living or working anywhere near Tokyo. I was being sent to a place called Shiroma in Mie Prefecture. I didn't mind though. I knew as much about Shiroma as I did about Tokyo. In other words, nothing. Nevertheless, I was excited. I couldn't wait to begin the next chapter of my new life. Alright, well that's chapter 1. If you made it this far, please leave a comment down there. Let me know what you think. And any likes or subscriptions to show your support would be appreciated. You can also see more of my work at victoredison.net. I do a daily comic strip over there. So if you're interested in that, check it out. All right, see you later.